So here's a bird's eye view of the material that we covered so far. So this is a summary of what we learned. Um, so when we're estimating a population parameter, first we have to identify which parameter we're estimating. Is this a population mean? Is this a population standard deviation? Or is this a population proportion? Remember, proportion could also be a probability or percentage. So once we identified that, then you select a formula and the distribution that you need in order to estimate your confidence interval and get your critical values. So if you know that you're estimating population mean, we have two situations. The one is that the standard deviation is known. In this case, you would use the standard normal or z-distribution for critical values. However, as I mentioned before, this is not a very realistic situation, so we're not going to go in depth on this one. Now, the more realistic situation is when you don't know your standard deviations, your standard deviation of the population. In this case, you will use a t-distribution to figure out your critical values. That's for estimating population mean. For estimating population proportion, you're going to use the standard normal distribution, Z, for calculating critical values. And if you're talking about confidence intervals for population variance or standard deviation, then you're going to use a chi-squared distribution to find critical values. Now, once you identified what you're estimating and which distribution to use for critical values, then you will apply a corresponding formula, right? So these are the formulas for your confidence intervals, estimating confidence intervals. So T critical value for estimating population mean standard deviation is unknown. Z for estimating population proportion, and chi-square for estimating variance or standard deviation. In this section, we also talked about estimating population, sample size necessary to estimate a population parameter. We have two formulas, one for estimation of the population mean and another one for estimation of population proportion. In both cases, you will use the standard normal distribution or Z distribution in order to find those critical values.